Hello, dear friends in Hungary. Here is Weber Alan, architect from Budapest. And as you know, I work here since 2016. And today's topic is mobile homes, as you can already see on this little screen here. So this is a very common question. My customer always ask me, many people now would like to build this or to put, I can say, this mobile house or mobile homes on their plots. And the confusion is actually very big. Nobody really seems to know if they need a permission or not. And now I have very fresh new information because we really asked this question at the building authority, and we got a response from them written in text form. So finally really something reliable on this topic of the mobile homes. So this information I would like to share with you today, and I hope this will be useful for many of you. So, a very common case, for example, now a customer went to, let's say, a shop, and she would like to buy a mobile home, like you can see behind me, something like this. And the shop says, yeah, you don't need a permission, everything is good. But it's actually not true, so please be a little bit careful when you would like to put a mobile home on your plot. I will show you another picture. It can look like this, or sometimes it looks more a little bit like this. You see here. So mobile home, as the name says, generally means a home which is mobile, which can be like a container or on wheels also, so it is movable. And from that point of view, one could think that you don't need a permission for it, and my very short answer for it: you need a permission for it. So what the building authority now really wrote us, black on white on the paper, even this kind of mobile home need a permission in case on the plot they are connected permanently to water and to electricity. And in that case, they really wrote this: it doesn't matter if it is like a container or it is on wheels or whatever. So even if it comes on wheels, but if you connect it to the water and the electricity, then it's officially a building and not mobile anymore. Yeah. So, and I always also look at these questions which are not so clear. Sometimes I think we have to really be honest to ourselves also, and we have to ask ourselves, what do we want to do with it? So most people want to put it somewhere and live then there in this mobile home, so it's actually then a fixed house even if it comes on wheels. So that's the intention of most people, and that's also, I think, the reason why the building authority says these are fixed homes. So then what does not need a permission? So it is not so really clear. I have another image here. So if you see this picture now, in this case, it is like a circus wagon, for example. And maybe you know this. Have you seen, for example, in the circus, they really always move from one place to the other. So here, honestly, we can say this is not fixed. So something in this direction, which is really movable, which is really on wheels and is not connected permanently to water and electricity, this would not need a permission. So also this camping vehicles or things like this. So, and also if it has a permission to drive on the streets, then of course it's not a house, then it's a vehicle, so you can drive it on any street. So this would not need a permission. So I hope I could show a little bit the difference. And then is especially, they said, the building authority, when, for example, even with this type, then you put it and then in front of it, very common that people build this terrace or even with a roof. So especially if you build this, then even more it's not mobile. So also unfortunately the rule is that even terrace roofs need a permission in Hungary. It's unfortunately like this. It counts as a building. So the more permanent the hole is, then the more clear it gets that it needs a permission. And now to come back maybe to the other picture. Yeah, here you see this this terrace in front. I will show it one more time a little bit better. This is this typical terrace in front, so which really makes it permanent. And now let's say, for example, let's go back to the other picture. Then let's assume somebody really wants to do the permission. We can do this. Then the second difficulty comes. There is, as you maybe know, in Hungary, the protection of the image of these villages, a little bit outside of the cities, is very strong. So in most cases, outside, we call it in Hungarian in the vidék, so it means a little bit in the countryside, there are quite strong rules concerning the image of the village. So what does it mean? Even if you would like to build or to put, for example, this kind of mobile home, in most cases it is not even possible to get the permission for this kind. Why? Because the rules almost always say, for example, that it needs a steep roof like this, so no flat roof is not allowed. Almost every project I have had, flat roofs were not allowed in this region, and I worked in quite a lot of regions in Hungary, around the Balaton, Debrecen, mostly flat roofs, only a little bit more in the cities. So maybe close to Balaton cities, yes, but a little bit outside, mostly flat roofs, not allowed. So that means you have to modify this mobile home. It cannot just be put like this. You will not get the permission. Then another quite strong rule, we have had this, I have discussed it a lot, please believe me, mostly these steel and wooden facades is not allowed in the village, especially towards the street. They want to maintain the traditional image of the villages. So as you have seen, you go to the village, mostly this plaster, vakolat in Hungarian, plaster, and then also the color, mostly like this earth colors, white, a little bit yellowish, brownish. This they actually very often write it. It must be in this color and the plaster. So I have had a project. A customer wanted to build a house with containers. So this is the structure. Generally is possible, but we had to modify it in this way. I explained it now. We had to make a steep roof like this. We had to make mostly. There in this project we a little bit played with the materials, but the biggest part was in the end plaster baccarat, and only a small part was in wood, even though the customer would have liked the whole in wood, so they did not accept it. So, and this is a little bit the disadvantages with this kind of mobile homes. So if you want to put it, you have to modify it quite strongly, and then the costs come, of course. So about the costs, maybe you have the intention to buy it on quite a good price, but then you will have to modify it so much that in the end the costs will be much higher than you think in the beginning. That's, by the way, also the reason why I also designed a tiny house. You can find it on my homepage. And this tiny house, my idea was to really put all the roofs already in it. So it has a roof like this, it has a plaster facade, and so on. So my idea was that it can get the permission anywhere in Hungary. So that's the rules. Once more, even if it is on wheels, if it's connected to electricity and water, it counts as a fixed building and needs a permission. That's with mobile homes. Another rule, which by the way changed in October 2024, so not so many months ago, we distinguish in Hungary always between living buildings and not living buildings. It's separate. It's also a separate type of permission. It's very similar, but it's separate. And always when you want to live in it, then you actually need the permission in any case. So except this if it's allowed to drive it on the street. So but in any other case, if you want to live in it, you need a permission for it. That's clear. Then there is a new rule if for this, let's say for example a garage, things like this, side buildings very often behind the living building on the plot. So there is a new rule that you, let's say just you want to build a garage, then until now new 35 square meters and 3.5 meters high with a flat roof, then sometimes it's allowed. If it's just a garage, you have seen this maybe, then the flat roofs are allowed sometimes. Or if it has a roof like this, then 4.5 meter, the highest point, then you don't need a permission. This is the rule, but not for living buildings. Please don't mix it up. This is a new information now. Everybody should know, so it's good to know. Garage, carports, things like this to store some materials, so little buildings. They don't need a permission until 35 square meters, but be careful, don't just do it. Nevertheless, they need to follow all the rules on the plot. That means mostly in the countryside we have these buildings which are on the side of the plot. So that's a very common case, that the building stands on the side of the plot, let's say the living building, and if, for example, if you want to put a garage behind it, then it also needs to be on the side, or at least not on the other side, because on the other side we have distances where it is not allowed to build. So in these long plots, the side you are not allowed to build, and also in the front. You have to check every plot separately, it's always different, but in the front mostly the rule is like the neighbors on this line you can build, or if it's not so clear, 5 meters. On the side it's usually 4 to 6 meters, so where you cannot build. So I think I have spoken about the most important things. I hope this video was very useful for you, and if you have any question you can anytime contact me, best on WhatsApp, Messenger, email. You can find it on my homepage. So I wish everybody a very nice day and see you soon. Bye bye.